Don't burn your bling on cameras yet. Hey people of the YouTube land, I am Rajat Shah and this is Shutterfilling. So today we're gonna talk about what all stuff you need to know before jumping into the mind-blowing realm of photography. Stay till the end. So my main target here is to provide you with as much information as possible on the topic of photography from A to Z here at Shutterfilling. So stay till the end and please subscribe to this channel. So before you enter this supercalifragilisticexpialidocious realm of photography, damn, I said the word. I have been practicing for like 1 hour or so. So as I was saying, before you enter this amazing supercali blah 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 word into this realm of photography, there are a few things you should definitely know about. First, I'm not gonna go into deep in of each and every topic right here, but I will try to cover them superficially and then go into deep for each topic in the upcoming videos so you can understand them better and this video does not stretch up to like 2 hours or so. Second, there is no end to buying gears. Like here I have a $200 camera too, and there I have a $1,000 cameras with a $2,000 lens or something, a setup right there on which I'm shooting. So there is never an end to, which gear you wanna buy. So just keep those things in mind. Yeah. So there is always something left which you haven't bought yet, and you would like, I want to buy that. I really need to buy that, but you need to learn how to draw the line. You need to stop at some point because Sony offers a lens of like $300 too, and there is a lens which is like of $10,000 too, of the same camera I'm talking about. So you just need to learn how to draw the line. Photography is more about how skillful you are with your camera rather than how much you spend on your fancy camera. Like you could have spent like a $3,000, $4,000 on your camera and still end up taking photos which you just want to like puke all over them. But that does not mean the gear is not important. You need to buy a gear but not focus solely on the gear. You cannot just hope for a $100 camera to click photos as good as this camera or any other full frame cameras even. But you need to know what you require. You can start right off your phone. I highly encourage it. Like if you want to start doing photography today, just take up your phone and start clicking photos. That's the best way to start photography. So as I was saying, skills are more important than gear, but you cannot ignore gear. Anyways, so before you spend even a single dime on your camera gear, you need to listen to these pointers I have and then decide where you want to put your money. So starting with what types of cameras are there in the market. So commercially there are two major types of cameras available, a point and shoot and a lens changeable camera. Now talking about point and shoot, this right here is my very first digital camera and I had pretty good times with it. So if someone who wants to just dip their toe into the water and start by that, a point and shoot is a great choice for them because a point and shoot camera ranges from something $200 to up to $1,500 too. So you can just use this for your family photography too, and if you want to just start by dipping the toe, you do not want to spend your money like all of it at a time, so you can start by taking up a point and shoot. And I know it just does not give you the idea, like, okay, it does not seem cool for a photography because you cannot hold something ahead, but I highly recommend for those of who are just brand new to this photography business, I highly recommend to start with this. You can always buy a lens changeable camera or any kind of camera, but starting with this gives you perspective. It actually tells you that you need not have a fancy camera to be good at photography. I have taken some good pictures with this and I actually opened this camera so it does not work anymore, but this was a good camera. I've used it quite often, sometimes even after buying this camera right there. So the other category of camera is the interchangeable lens camera. As the name suggests, these cameras have lenses which you can remove and change at your will. These camera category is further divided into two types of cameras, that is DSLR and mirrorless. So DSLR is the general cameras which most of you might have held or used once in your life. They have this little viewfinder at the top and you can just look through it. So DSLRs basically have a mirror in them which reflects the light, and then through a pentaprism you can see through the viewfinder at top here or here. But in mirrorless camera, which is the more advanced technology and which is on the rise, in fact Sony makes all of their cameras mirrorless. They don't even have a DSLR at the moment. So mirrorless camera, as the name suggests, it does not have a mirror. It either has a digital viewfinder or it does not have one at all. Like this camera right here, it does not have a digital viewfinder, but the one I am using for shooting, it has a digital viewfinder. Personally speaking, I have never owned a DSLR. I bought this little camera right here, and the next camera I bought was my Handycam, and then I bought this one, and now I'm using the one which I'm using for shooting. I'm not a fan of DSLR because of many reasons, but the comparison between DSLR and mirrorless is for another video. Anyway, so I was saying that mirrorless cameras are now on the rise. So this right here is the Sony Alpha Nex 3, and the one I'm using is Sony Alpha 6400. Both of them are good cameras, and they are slightly costly. So if some of you have big budget, like a big budget, like you can get a good mirrorless camera, I recommend Sony Alpha 6000 for around 30 to 40,000 rupees. That's like $500-$600. So if you got the budget, you can go for them. I highly recommend. So this was the general classification of the camera, like the types of camera which people usually buy. More on them in some upcoming video. I will definitely talk about the difference between a DSLR and a mirrorless, and I would love to share the perks of DSLR and perks of mirrorless for sure. So if you guys want to learn more about photography and learn some life skills at the same time, make sure you check out my channel, and once again I'm asking you all to subscribe to this channel. It would be great support for me. So moving on to part 2 of this video, the truth about photography. Let's take a quick oath, shall we? So the truth. The truth is that if you want to start photography, you should start right away. You can start on the device you're watching, your phone or your tablet. Just do not buy a camera without knowing your stuff. It would be a huge waste of money. 2 reasons for that. First being, it would let you know that whether you really like to do photography or it was just because you saw your friend with a camera and you're like, damn, I gotta buy the camera. And secondly, and I think this is the more important one, while using the device you already own, you will get to know what photography is. Not just the technical part, but what it takes up here and physically to do photography. It will help you learn about composition. It will help you learn about aperture, shutter speed, white balance, ISO. I know I'm just speaking a bunch of technical terms, but trust me, buying a camera before even knowing what photography is would be a huge mistake. And if you're keen on buying a camera, then you can just buy a cheap one, get used to it, and then you can move on to buy a good camera. Okay, so those were some truths. Moving on to, there are various genres of photography. I think I spoke it right, genre, yeah. So there is landscape, there is portrait, there is product photography, and many more. So you need to first decide that what is your strong point in photography. Like for me personally, although it's landscape, after I was like satisfied with what I have done with my landscape photography, I moved on to portrait photography and product photography, and I'm trying to learn on that. I am not the best photographer in the world. I'm not Peter McKinnon or Hayden Pedersen or Seventh Era, but I'm learning, and as a beginner, I know what a beginner goes through. So I'm just here to help you guys out. So now that I've told you that what you should know before you buy a camera, what you should know before you enter the realm of photography superficially, I also need to tell you that after you click your photos, you need to edit. You cannot just leave the photos as it is. If you're buying a camera for clicking photos of your parents or your siblings or your children, you can just put them right away in your hard disk and like, okay, I clicked the photo. But if you are planning to take up photography as your profession, as your hobby, or as your passion, you need to learn how to edit. For editing, you all must have heard of Photoshop, but for me, I personally do not use Photoshop that much because the app called Lightroom by Adobe is sufficient for my requirements, and for quick edits I use Snapseed. So that is all guys for today. I hope that I have given you a glimpse into this amazing world of photography, and many of you might have come just because I shared a link with you, or you found this video by accident. I hope that I have interested you in this amazing thing called photography, and would love to see some of your work. I would put down my email below and my Insta below. If you have clicked some amazing photos, please share with me. So to learn more about all the stuff I talked today in my video, do subscribe to this channel, stay tuned, turn on the notifications, and please like this video and share it with as many people you think as you can.